Welcome back. Yes, Olivia Newton-John's song "Let's Get Physical," and David, that was back in the 80s, I think. Retro is very popular now.
A very retro hit, and we're going to look at a word, retronym. In fact, now that was coined by a journalist, Frank Mankiewicz, an American journalist, during the 30s and 40s. It refers to a word that has changed due to something that has happened since. So a lovely example would be something like an analog watch, which recognises that there have been digital watches created since.
So the original word "watch" is no longer adequate to cover the range of subject material.
That's right, and possibly a clearer example would be something like snail mail, because now email is obviously a very popular means of sending messages, but snail mail or postal mail recognises and distinguishes the fact that things have happened since, and therefore the original mail needs to be singled out and clarified. But of course, the retronyms exist in kind of huge terms as well. If you think of something like World War I, now that originally was called the Great War, but of course World War II came along, and so we came back and made a retronym of the Great War.
Well, that's right. Of course, in World War I, they didn't know it was World War I.
Same goes for the Old Testament. Now, that was not called the Old Testament when it was created. It was possibly called the Testament, for all I know. I'm not sure. But I do know that people is quite a bizarre example of a retronym, where P stands for paper, because it recognises that books are evolving into electronic means. So P for paper is one way of saying, look, this book, but as we knew it, not as we are coming to know it.
P-book, right on the cutting edge of language. Thank you, David.
Pleasure.
Let's have a look at these scores. James is on 10, Angus is on 23, and we're going to head into our next letter game. And Angus, it's your turn to choose.
Consonant, please, Lily.
Thank you, Angus. Let's start with an M.
Consonant.
X.
Consonant.
C.
Vowel.
I.
Vowel.
E.
Vowel.
U.
Consonant.
S.
Consonant.
P.
And the final consonant, please.
And finish with a T.
And here's the clock. Angus, how many for you?
6.
And James?
I also got 6, Richard.
Your 6 first, please, James.
Pumice, as in the stone.
Okay, and yours, Angus?
Slightly dodgy. Cuties.
Cuties. That is an interesting one. Pumice sounds good, but how do you feel about cuties?
Well, pumice, of course, could have been pluralised for a 7, unfortunately, James. And cutie, a pleasing person, one with a winning personality. Cuties is good, Angus. So 2 6s, well played. Now, curiously, I was just talking about Sir Isaac Newton. The word impetus is here, and he came up with the 3 laws of motion. So there is impetus, which is the force of moving forward. That's a 7.
So 6 each for Angus and James. Well, we're enjoying the letters game, so let's continue. And James, it's your choice this time.
Lily, can I start off with a consonant?
You can. Thank you, James. Starting with an S.
And a vowel, thanks.
A.
And a consonant, thanks.
R.
And another consonant, thanks, Lily.
N.
And a vowel.
E.
And another vowel.
O.
And a consonant.
D.
Another consonant.
T.
And a vowel, thanks.
And finally, I.
And 30 seconds from now. go that time?
6 letters, thanks, Richard.
Angus?
8.
That sounds very strong, but James, your 6 first.
Stoned.
And your 8?
Rationed.
Rationed. Very nice.
Yes, well played. Fantastic play, Angus. That's a grade 8. And in fact, there is a 9 in this mix.
You found a 9?
I found a 9.
We like it when you found a 9.
And it is notarized. N-O-T-A-R-I-S-E-D, which is when a document has been authenticated.
Very nice work indeed. So, a strong 8 for Angus. Let's change direction and head for the numbers again now. Angus, would you make a choice for us, please?
I have 2 large and 4 small, please, Lily.
2 large and 4 small. Thank you, Angus. And starting with the smalls, 7, 6, 10, and 5. And the 2 large, 25 and 100. And the target number is 788.
Thank you, Lily. 30 seconds to get there. So, Angus, how close did you get?
795.
All right, and James?
781.
So, equidistant from the target. Angus, you start us off, please, with your method.
100 plus 10 is 110.
100 plus 10 is 110.
Multiply it by 7, it's 770.
By the 7 is 770.
Add the 25 is 795.
Add the 25 is 795.
Okay, well, that's your method, Angus. James, what was your approach?
I took the 100 and multiplied it by 7.
100 by the 7 is 107. Sorry, it's 700.
Plus 5 times 10.
Plus 5 by 10, which is
750.
750.
And then plus 25 and plus 6 for 781.
Add 25 and the 6 gives you 781.
So, Lily, did you manage to work your way to the target precisely?
I did manage to.
Show us
and
how you did it.
I'll talk you through it. Okay, now 6 minus 5 is 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. Now, if you add that 9 to 100 and multiply that by the 7, gives you 763. And if you add 25 to that, gives you 788.
Which is absolutely on target, the perfect answer. Thank you very much indeed, Lily. But James and Angus still scored well, 5 points each. That means James is on 21, Angus is on 42 as we move towards our next brief break and our next word mix. It is Isle Nut, and the clue this time, wrapped up well in cotton wool. Back after the break.